If you're wondering whether your Adobe subscription is still worth the money, you're not alone. I've been subscribed to Adobe since 2014, and I've had periods where I use Photoshop, Premiere Pro, and the likes on a daily basis where I loved it and it made absolute sense to pay that subscription. But as time's gone on, I've always wondered whether it would make more sense to cancel my Adobe subscription, swap Photoshop for Canva, Premiere Pro for CapCut. But at the end of the day, it just gives me so much more creative control. And now that Adobe is diving into the deep end of AI, we're seeing some evolution of their products, and it's been much slower than I would have hoped. But given everything that they've launched or announced at Adobe Max, I'm going to walk you through what's new, what to expect, and whether or not it's even worth continuing to pay your monthly Adobe subscription in the next couple of minutes. So Adobe Max was held in LA at the end of October, and these were the things that were announced. We have Adobe Max Firefly upgrades, so image, audio, and video. So you can now use custom style training. There's a new image model 5 for Firefly. You can generate soundtracks and speech, and there's a web-based Firefly video editor. Now, what does all of this mean? Basically, Firefly, which is one of Adobe's products, allows you to use multiple different models in one place, whether you're generating images or video, and they're kind of integrating a lot of the other models, such as VO3 and Ray 2. However, I used this last month, and I had a lot of issues using any other model aside from Firefly Video. It would just give me errors, and I ended up canceling it. So there's little growing pains like that in the Firefly suite to be aware of, but it has produced certain types of work that I was unable to produce with other models or other tools. So in terms of Premiere Pro, Photoshop, and Lightroom, they have all gotten speed boosts, which are nice little updates, but nothing that I'm going to get too excited about personally. Adobe Express gets an AI assistant. Again, I don't know if this is really worth the time. Only time will tell. One of the more interesting announcements was Project Moonlight, which is kind of like an AI social media creative director, which sounds incredibly exciting. But whether or not it actually brings the value that they have suggested is another question altogether. So it essentially allows you to orchestrate an entire campaign using AI and Adobe's Creative Suite. I'm going to keep a close eye on this, and we'll have a proper review to see if it's actually worth the time. Another announcement is that Premiere is now on iPhone, and it's kind of angled towards creating YouTube Shorts. I see this kind of as a CapCut competitor. So if you have the same creative control in the mobile app, or at least most of the creative control versus the PC app, this could be very exciting. Then some other sneak peeks, Project Frame Forward. So that means you can apply one edit to one frame and it would work across multiple different frames. Again, Adobe has become very well known for announcing these new AI features and models and not really delivering on them to the degree that we may have thought. So what does Adobe Max 2025 mean for creative professionals? So speed is compounding. It's a nice to have, but I'm not going to write home about that one. Style control is here. So we've got more control over the styles that we create, and it's able to replicate across various different scenes. Short form is now native. I think this is more of a long-term thing to see how this pans out. And you can now orchestrate campaigns using single edits that would then cross over to the rest of your creation. So some of the cool things that I like about this, one of the features in particular is with Premiere Pro. If you download their beta version, you can select something called Object Mask Tool, which will essentially allow me to select the subject and green screen the background, which used to only be available or doable in After Effects. Elements like that I think are very exciting, where it really improves the workflow within Premiere Pro, Photoshop, etc. So at the end of the day, is it worth your time to continue paying Adobe subscription? In my opinion, yes. The way I use it is, it's not my flagship tool. I use Flora as my flagship AI creative tool. So I develop images, videos, etc. within Flora. And I see Premiere Pro and the Adobe suite as adding a bit of refinement to my end product and putting it all together in Premiere Pro or Photoshop. So I'm going to continue paying my subscription, and I'm pretty excited about these new updates. I've started using one or two, and aside from the glitches and occasionally failing to deliver on what they've promised in terms of AI, I'm excited about Adobe, and I see a lot of potential to improve the workflow and integrate these types of AI elements that make your workflow better and help you produce better work. I hope that was helpful. If you want to stay up to date with everything going on in the world of AI creativity and learn how to build your own AI creative studio, head to escapism.ai and sign up for my free newsletter. Thank you for watching.